understood?
Yeah. We'll start. So, good morning, the speaker of the day, Dr. R. Venkateshan, who has joined us in spite of his busy schedule there. And good morning to all the construction professionals who have logged in. So, today's webinar, the 66th webinar, is in collaboration with National Institute of Construction Management and Research. So, it's nice to have a premier institution because they have been doing a number of works in the area of construction management and research. And I am sure that construction professionals who have logged in would find that there is a lot of value as far as today's presentation is concerned. But before I go to the introduction of the speaker, I will just give a brief overview of our initiatives and then finally come to the introduction of the speaker, and then I will hand it over to the speaker for his presentation. So just a brief overview of the organization. As all of you know, Ramco Cements Limited is the part of the Ramco Group. And apart from cement, we are also in the area of information technology, the Ramco Systems, as all of you would be aware. And then we have the dry mix range of products, and we are also having one ready mix concrete plant in Chennai. So, we all know that different types of construction requires different types of concrete, and concrete is made for different exposure conditions. Different grades of concrete are there, different applications are there. So based on all these factors, we will see that there is a number of concrete grades, concrete types that is being cast at site. Now, based on those concrete qualities, what we have is that we have customized the type of cement. So we do not, just to go by the type of cement. What we do is that we try to understand the requirement of concrete from the customer. Now, that is one significant thing that we have been doing as far as creating awareness amongst construction professionals is concerned. That first of all, understand the requirement of concrete. What is the grade of concrete? What is the slump required? Which type of chemical admixture is being used? If at all a chemical admixture is being used, and how is the from how far is the batching plant or the concrete mixing to the place of delivery and things like that, so that slump retention and all can be planned. So based on that, different types of cement is there, and our present capacity is 16.5 million ton, which is expected to be 20 million tons per annum, because we have our expansion going on. One plant is coming up in Kurnool district, a greenfield plant, an integrated cement plant, and then we have a grinding unit which is coming up again in Odisha. So with those expansion, our capacity is going to increase to 20 million tons per annum. And as I was telling, apart from ready mix concrete and dry mortar plant, we also operate one of the largest wind farms in the country, because all of us know that renewable and non-renewable source of energy becomes very important. So we need to use more of renewable source of energy, and that is where our initiatives in the area of wind farms plays a vital role. Now, this slide shows an overview of the different types of cement that is being manufactured by Ramco. It is not that we advocate a particular type of cement and say that this cement is good or that cement is good. In fact, you have a choice. But the thing is that if you look at it, ordinary Portland cement, we always recommend that 53 grade should be used wherever you are blending cementitious material at site. Like say for example, major projects can go in for that. And we have this infra 53 grade cement for specifically those projects who want a longer slump retention time. So within ordinary Portland cement, we have this degree of customization. And we also have a special type of cement, the Ramco Super Fast, which is specifically meant for precast applications. All of us know that precast items is being used in huge quantities nowadays in construction work, whether it is a solid block, hollow block, paving block, or for that matter, superstructure of some of the infrastructure, bridges and all is also being made of precast this thing. So that is where the Ramco Superfast cement plays a vital role. And then we have the most widely used cement across the country, the Portland Pozzolana cement. The various types of Portland Pozzolana cement is there. You have the Ramco Super Grade, which is a PPC, and Ramco Super Crete, which is specifically meant for concreting application. As all of us know, PPC cement is being specifically recommended from the perspective of low heat of hydration, low lime leaching, a higher durability in concrete. Because of those advantages, we have this blended cement, and we have the Portland slag cement, which is again as per IS 455, and we have the sulfate resisting Portland cement. So overall, you have 12 different brands of cement which is being manufactured, and we also have interaction with major construction professionals who are also our customers. Say for example, ITD Cementation, Larsen & Toubro, Tata Housing, Haldia Development Authority, many of the projects in the eastern part of the country also. And each of these projects, as I was telling, would be making concrete suited to different exposure conditions, maybe near a marine area, maybe near an area where there is a high level of pollution. So what happens is that more than compressive strength, aspects of durability is very important, whether chloride attack is there, sulfate attack is there, carbonation is there. So we also need to pay attention to all this durability or deteriorating mechanism that is there in the site and take care of that. And that is where the role of blended cement or the role of blending materials for that matter play a vital role. And this is what, to give a kind of very professional services to our customers. We have exclusive research and development center. Of course, apart from the quality control system that is there at the plant, we have a separate R&D center in Chennai, which does lot of work in the area of raw materials of cement, as well as in the cement itself, and for concrete also, because when you look at customers would be having different requirements based on different aggregates, different sand, different chemical admixtures. So you'll find that there is a lot of variations as far as the constituent material is concerned. Now, to take care of those variations, we do number of research at our research center, so that we give a better service to the customers. And at the end of the day, what all of us are looking is for value. If you get more of benefit than the cost that you are giving, I think that is what is very important. So what we do is that we give a value-based service to all the customers, and that is where our concept of right product for right application comes into play, because you have different types of cement. So which is the right cement for the right application and how it has to be used. So to keep this awareness, to have this awareness and to ensure that all the construction professional is aware of the latest developments, we have started this series of webinars since the lockdown started, so that all of us get connected with all the professionals and see what their perspective are. So today we have a very interesting talk by Dr. R. Venkateshan, who will be talking on significance of lean construction. Just a brief of the speaker of today. He is a professor and head examinations and new program development at NICMAR, Hyderabad, Telangana. He has been awarded PhD from the Department of Civil Engineering, IIT Madras, in the area of construction management in the year 2010. He pursued Masters in Business Administration with specialization in Human Resource and System Management, a Bachelor's in Civil Engineering, and he has also been associated with Central Public Works Department in numerous capacities for a period of 28 years. And then later on, he headed the management development at Center for Consolidated Construction Consortium, that is CCCL, at Chennai for a period of 3 years. And he has been director in engineering, project management, consultancy and research, an incubated company of IIT Madras for 2 years. After fruitful service of 33 years in the industry, Dr. Venkateshan moved into academic sector to contribute his learnings to enrich the students community as well as to work in further research pursuits. So NICMAR, his present organization, as all of us have heard about NICMAR in the area of management and research, and there he is contributing because by virtue of his industrial experience, he is developing professionals at various levels. Because with a combined experience of 38 years, both in industry and academia, Professor Venkateshan's multidisciplinary expertise range in the area of administration, tendering, contracting, planning, procurement, project execution, design, maintenance, valuation, human resource management, organizational behavior, lean construction, and value engineering. So some of his excellence, this thing 2018 Research Excellence Award from National Institute of Construction Management and Research, Pune. Since 2011, he has been the panel reviewer for International Journal of Construction Management and Economics, which is being brought out of UK. And he had published 6 international conference papers, 3 national conference papers, and 6 international journal papers, and 2 national journal papers. So we have our speaker today, Dr. R. Venkateshan, who would be sharing his experiences. And I am sure that all the professionals who have logged in, now as of now, there is 173 professionals who have logged in for the talk. And I am sure that each one of you would have something to take away from today's talk. So let's listen to today's speaker, Dr. Venkateshan, who would be talking about lean construction. And I am sure that in the age of pandemic now, this is very much that much relevant, because we are looking at how to be more productive, how to be more efficient, how to be more value conscious. I think this topic has significant importance. And over to you, sir, for your presentation, and welcome to this webinar, Dr. Venkateshan, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Am I audible?
You're audible.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, my video presentation.
The third button is for the sharing of screen. Yes.
So good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
It is nice to have this webinar with of these technical people across various parts of the country and various industry institute and working in different projects and all. Of course, I think all of you are very much aware about our institute, NICMAR, which is a premier institute in the area of construction management and research. So we are doing a lot of studies, including the studies on this lean construction and all. I feel personally the lean construction is one of the most relevant, as he told. Today we are in very big trouble how to overcome that and all. Now we are going to see the interesting aspects of lean construction. Of course, with the time restrictions, I will be talking about some of the techniques, even if I will show what are the contents and all. So mainly, just we will see why construction business is different, how it is different from other business, what are the problems, even what are the challenges we are having in the construction industry. Then we can see the definition for lean, and also very interesting history of lean, how it has evolved, and we can also see what is the necessity of lean, and there is a pathway of to lean, how it will be moving. Then what are the various waste? According to Japanese term, it is called Muda. So we will see what are those waste and all. There are various lean tools are there. I will be showing you some of the lean tools. In that, I will be going with the two lean tool. One is 5-year system. There I will be explaining a small study, what we have done. Even the last planner, I will be explaining it along with a software that is a lean Plandu. There are many softwares, that lean Plandu, one of the software. I will show some of the important aspects in that. Finally, we will be seeing some of the major barriers in the lean implementation, as well as how this lean will be advantages than the traditional thing also just discuss. Coming to the construction, how it is different from other things, we can see each and every project is unique. So it may be with reference to the locations, or it may be with the geographical spread, or otherwise we can see a lot of some aspects will be taking place with respect to construction design, components, materials, workers, equipment, space, connecting works, external conditions. We can see the rejections or reworks be very expensive. We have to minimize that thing, how to do that one and all. And variables impacting the is very high here, and it causes a lot of uncertainty. It is physically challenging. So how I can differentiate this with even a production or construction other industry is, in other industry, all the resources they will bring and they will make the product, and the product will be finally moving out of that place. But in construction, what we can see is all the resources, including the human material, everything will come. It will make the product. Then ultimately, all we will go, the product will remain at that place only. And also, it is working in the external environment. It is not in the what you can say a protected environment and all. And another interesting aspect is here the people will be going on changing. So it is very dynamic. We don't know who are the next batch of people who are going to come and work and all. And we will be working, meeting new people, and we have to interact with them. So the dynamic environment is one of the most challenging things. So now we can see what are the other challenging things in the construction. So there are a lot of problems are coming. So it it may be a poor coordination, because coordination with various people, as I say, as I have told, there are so many people are involved. Contractors are there, even subcontractors, clients, then various agencies. Everybody we have to interact, including the public and all. Then nowadays we are seeing a lot of cost overrun is happening. And so there are many uncertainty, things are changing. So cost overrun is happening. And the design delay, the parameters changes, then there will be some design delays and all happening. As just now Anil sir told, there is a low productivity. Somewhere other, day by day we are seeing in construction industry, the productivity is dwindling. And we are seeing, in spite of we bring some machineries and all, but our construction industry productivity is lower than any other industry. And a lot of safety issues, because we have to work at various places, especially when our infrastructure projects at a very high altitude. Even nowadays we are going for multi-story building, so a lot of safety issues are there. The most important one which we are going to see now is the waste of materials and mainly resources. I can say, what are the things and all that causes the project a lot of problem. Along with that, we are seeing the stores management as well as the sub-vendor coordination. Also, there are a lot of issues with the customer interface. One of the most important thing what I am seeing here is that external factors. Even you see the introduction of this GST or the demonetization, now COVID-19, everything, it is bringing a lot of problem to our construction industry. Now the people are suffering like anything, because many of the time we are using the migrant labors. Now everybody has gone. Now whenever I am contacting my friends and all, they are telling, sir, getting back the people is very difficult. So now it is a time for think how to retain them and all, what are the things that is required to retain our workforce, even our engineers and all those things, because we are with a very big challenge. So how we have to overcome this challenge is a time for us to think on this. So one of the things that I feel personally, lean, let us, we will see how it will help. If you go through some of the details, we can understand how this lean is going to help us. Coming to the lean definition, from the lean manufacturing or the lean production or simply lean, it is a systematic method for elimination of waste within the manufacturing or production system. We have to identify waste. Waste is which are the non-value adding things. We have to identify them and we have to eliminate them. So it involves improving the production process with the minimum cost and maximum value. What is the advantage of it? By eliminating the waste, naturally our cost go down. Other side, we have to identify what is the value required by. So we have to consider what are the customer needs. Based upon that, we have to do. Now, what we are seeing with our mobile applications and a lot of mobile phones and a lot of value additions are happening and the prices are coming down. The same way we are seeing with many of the products. Even you take the car. Now we are seeing a lot of what you can say, digital things are included there. So value additions happening everywhere, even including our construction activity also. So, okay, fine. Coming to a lean construction, it's a combination of operational research and the practical development in design and construction. So it starts from design and also the entire project life cycle. So construction with the adoption of lean manufacturing, we will be taking many of the things from the lean manufacturing principles and practices to the end-to-end design and the construction process. Everywhere we are checking what are the things we can implement by which we can add the value. So we are also trying to minimize the cost and maximize the value, identifying the customer needs. Okay, so through our whatever the construction activities and process and that. So unlike manufacturing, construction is a project-based production process. As I already told, it is a unique thing with a different project. So we have to customize every time according to our present project. So it is again the production we are going to make various things, but it is based upon the process. Okay, so we have to identify what are the process and we have to improve those process and that. Fine. So see, if you see the history of lean, so it started by in 1890 in Europe. Then subsequently it went to craft production. Even they went for making some of the yachts and all. Then later on they went with the mass production. Especially Henry Ford, he started that what you can say production line. So wherein that assembly line concept he brought, in which he started minimizing the time, maximizing the process and all those things. So the parallelly, the Toyota, when they started manufacturing the car, they were in a very much big trouble to compete with this US market. So they were thinking how to make it. So Taichi Ohana, one of the chief engineer with the Toyota, as well as the people in the Toyota, they started making this Toyota production system, wherein they started identifying the process and how to improve the process, eliminate the unwanted things in the process, including the just-in-time concept of bringing the material on and recorded time and all like that. There, the Toyota production system, subsequently, when it went to the other part of the world, it started slowly coined into lean thinking, especially by, with a book called The Machine That Changed the World, written by James Womack as well as the Daniel Jones. They brought the concept of lean thinking. So here again, they emphasized how to reduce the waste and all. So slowly this lean concept start evolved, and it started into going into automotive industry mainly. Then slowly Toyota and all. Then later on it spread into aerospace industry. Okay, Boeing and many other people started taking it. Now it is spread to everywhere, even the government department. Very interestingly, we can government departments like Odisha government, even in India. Some other thing, even in UK, in US, everywhere, the government department and the army also, they started adopting this lean concepts and that. So now we can see there is a lot of things that is going, even in construction industry, slowly it started spreading. So a lot of changes are there. We will see what are those things. Before going further, we will see a very interesting phenomena, a construction industry institute publication 2004, which is there's conducted a study with application of lean principles in construction that reports 75% to 95% of field work is non-value added. What do you mean by non-value added? Means where we will not get the payment simply. Okay. In the non-value added, there are two things are there. One is non-value added essential, that is required to make. In our construction industry, if you want to see the brickwork, if I want to make, I need to make some farm work and all. That is the non-value added, non-essential. Non-value added essential. There are many non-value added, non-essential things are there. That is, I will be bringing the material, stocking at that place. Later on, I will be shifting that from one place to another place. Like that, many things we will be doing, non-value added, non-essential. So if you will compare with the value added and the waste, that is your non-value added, in order to do that 5 to 15% value addition, we have to do 85 to 95% of the non-value added, that is waste things are there. So there are various waste things are there. We will be discussing about little later. But it's a fact that you can check if you want. Even we checked with some of the site, we went and verified. So it is very much what you can say sad thing to tell. But there are many non-value added things are there. There are some essential things are there. Now it is the time for us to identify the non-essential things, and we have to remove those things by which it will bring down the cost, and it will increase the efficiency. It will save the time and all, because everything involves the cost and the time. So now we have to see the necessity of lean. So now competition is there everywhere. Worldwide competition has started and it is growing. So people are competing. Now you can see Indian industry, many people, they thought they're very comfort and all. Now we are seeing the foreign participants, they are coming inside. Similarly, our people, they are going and taking some of the foreign contracts and all. So companies that meet customer needs and are more efficient than their competitors only will survive. Please understand. Now the problem is more than the growth. Now the problem is survival itself a problem. I think all of you will agree. Today, most of the construction companies are in red because they are not in a position to meet the customer need, as well as they are not efficient than their competitors. So they are becoming, it is becoming very difficult for them to survive itself. So they are becoming, so now it is necessary for them to adopt lean if at all they want to come out on all those things. See, earlier you can have any color you want as long as it is black. That is what is indirectly it means that customer don't have choice. It's a dead philosophy. Initially, when Ford was making, they were making only cars with black color only. because that black is cheap. So they thought, okay, we will make with the black because customer don't have any other choice. Nowadays, we are seeing not only change in color. Now we are seeing that lot of things are brought into it. Now many in that info entertainments were brought inside the cars and all. So we are seeing that everywhere the value addition is becoming the need of the day. Even in construction also, slowly we are seeing with a lot of sophistication, we have to add a lot of value addition by which customers requirement or the satisfaction is most important. So for the sustainability and growth, continuous improvement in adding value and eliminating, if not eliminating or minimizing the waste is most essential. So now the lean is going to talk about all these things, how we can eliminate, if not eliminate, how to minimize the waste. So now we can understand. So today's scenario, there is a most difficult scenario. People struggling. So for them, if they will adopt lean, they can come out. So now we will see how they are going to benefit. So before we should know what is the pathway to lean. So pathway to lean, first they want to define what is value. That is what the customer need. We are going to see them in detail. So value versus waste. First we will see how to increase the value and reduce the waste and all. Then we have to understand the value stream, how it will be produced. Then we have to identify what are the flow. So between the process, what are the things and all. The pull, we have to identify from the customer lower side. And also we have to make a pursue for perfection. So it is going with the value from value stream, flow, pull to perfection. So what are those things? Just we will see them little bit in detail. We have to specify the value. Here the value can only be defined by the ultimate customer, what the customer wants. Earlier we can make and give something to the customer. Now the customer specify. Even Mahatma Gandhi told the customer is the God. So we have to understand what is the need of the customer. Okay, value is only meaningful when expressed in terms of specific product or service, which meets the customer needs at a specific price at a specific time. Please understand. Now the price also they want very specific. Okay, some of the thing where they want economy, some of the thing where they want luxury. So the price will be varying. Similarly, the time people want it very urgently. So we have to go for making it very fast and delivering the things and all. So here, any process that customer would be prepared to pay for that adds value to the product. We have to identify here the value means what the customer require and he is ready to pay for that. Here value adding activities transform the product closer to what the customer actually wants. So understanding the customer need a requirement, if you will go on add the value, that will make the product closer to the customer, actually what he wants. Increase the customer satisfaction also. So primarily the lean concept emphasizes for value, that is nothing but what the customer require or want. So we have to identify that one first. Second important thing is the value stream. So here we have to identify and create that value stream. Value stream is nothing but what it starts from, that means is the sequence of process from raw material to the customer that create value. Here we have what are the actions currently required to bring the product from raw material into the arms of the customer. So the product will be going under various processes. Okay, so we are bringing various raw materials and we are converting them. Okay, and ultimately we are releasing to the customer. Even a building, we are bringing and adding so many components, even the facilities. So subsequently, what are the facilities that is required by the customer? We try to create those things. Here, the value stream can be included the complete supply chain, where from the raw material will come, even the quality of the raw material. That means the dynamism, what is the raw material, how much time you will be getting it and all. So value stream mapping is an integral aspect of lean. So we have to identify the correct resource, the correct source, where from you can take the resources and all, the quality and the time of supply and everything. This will be speaking about the value stream. The next one is flow. Here we have to make the value flow. Here, please understand, the flow is here between the process, we have to identify what are the things that is required. So we have to identify and link all the activities and the process into the most efficient combination to maximize the content while minimizing the Here we have to understand what are the products should flow through the lean organization at the rate of the customer needs. Here we have to identify what is the rate at which they require. So we don't want to bring so many inventory and piling up the inventory as a raw material or as a finished products. And also we have to identify what are the various progress that is required, how to combine them and all, by which we can eliminate many of the non-value adding items. So here we have to add value more quickly. So here we have to identify how we will be making the flow by removing the obstacles and all. Later on we are going to see everywhere we will be seeing when we are processing it, lot of constraints are there. How to identify the constraints and removing those constraints will come part and parcel of this flow concept. The next concept is the pull production, not the push production. Normally what we are trying to do is we are going from the top down approach. Okay, that is approach. Here we have to emphasize the bottom to top approach, that is the push approach. Here what the pull production, that is what that means customer, they have to, what is their demand, accordingly we have to release the thing. The customer has to pull the things from the various production people. Here only we have to make the thing as required, pull the value according to the customer's demand. We have to identify what is the customer demand. Based upon that, we have to release the things. So here we have to respond to the customer's rate of demand, that the actual customer demand that derives the supply chain. So entire supply chain we have to link according to the customer demand. So based upon the supply chain view from the downstream to upstream activities, we should not process the upstream supplier until the downstream customer signals a need. Even in our construction also, we are seeing lot of things are manufactured, that means we are producing, and a lot of things are becoming over supply, by which that more than the demand, we are seeing that there's a fall of market. It may be flats, big cities and all. So every time we are going for the push production rather than the pull production. Even within the production, your bottom side people are the customers for you. So you have to understand what is the requirement. So they have to ask you what they want and all. We have to educate them. We have to make them what they require and all. So we have to insist for the production rather than the push production. At present, we are going with the push production. We have to switch over to pull production. And finally, the fifth one and the most important thing is we have to strive for the perfection. Please understand, it is only just quality. It also exactly producing what the customer want. We have to understand what the customer want and all. So when they require, so we have to understand what is the requirement and all. For example, if you are going to make an institutional building, they may be starting that July, August, or whatever the period. That time, whatever they require, it has to be given. Similarly, it may be any other thing according to the requirement of the customer. We have to make that again with a fair price with a minimum waste. So here we have to identify what are the non-value items and all. We have to remove those things. It is not the one-time thing. It is a journey of continuous improvement. It is a culture we have to build in it, but which people should understand, and we have to strive for perfection every time. Not that once we reach it, that is fine. We have to make it again and again. So perfection is like an aspiration. People should have some aspiration. Anything and everything is able to be improved. Please, strongly we have to believe that everything and that anything we can able to improve every time. So what is the improvement we can do? So in the value, the lean, we can see every time what are the things we can go and improve the things and all. Some of the techniques that will identify, and it will for this perfection also. So we have seen that is first one is value, wherein we will be reducing the waste. Second one, we will be identifying the value stream. Third one, we have seen the flow, that between the process, what are the things we have to do, identify the constraints and remove the constraints. The fourth one, we have seen the not a push one, it is a pull one. So what is the downstream customer, what they want? The fifth one is the striving for the perfection. So these are the five basic things that you have to remember under the link. Now we are moving to the waste. As already we discussed, the waste is anything that will not add any value. That means for you, if you are in a construction or something, you are doing an activity or a task, ultimately get money for it. You have to build that one. If you are, for example, brickwork I am doing, I can take the measurement, I can get the payment for that. At the same time, there are many activities that will be involving to make this value added activity that we cannot avoid, but we have to reduce it. In this lean, they explain it under Muda. It is a Japanese word for waste. So there are 7 ways mainly they are identified. It is very much relevant to us also. Number 1, it is overproduction. So here, what is required, then the demand, we will be going on making it. Okay, so here, even in the site, you can see fellow is making some rings and all. He don't know how much is required. Whatever is available, he will take and make the rings. And majority of the time, we will be seeing many of the things are lying there unnecessarily and all those things. That and all overproduction, we have to be very much particular. We have to make it properly what is required and all, by which we can avoid the excessive inventory, the overproduction things and all. The next one is coming to inventory. It may be inventory, may be raw material as well as the finished good. We have to get the right thing at the right point of time, just required. So what is the problem? If majority of the time we will be seeing what is required will not be there, what is not required will be having, we will be having there, which will not have any value addition. So that will be lying there, but that will not be having any value addition. So we have to identify what is required. With keeping inventory, we have to keep a space for it. It will be obstructing our movement of the people and all. And also it will require money for safeguarding that one, preventing from pilferage and all those things. So we will be losing a lot of money with the excessive inventory. So we have to identify exactly what is required and all. And shortfall of inventory also problem. So we have to identify what is exactly required at what point of time. So we have to plan properly, by which we will not have any problem with the inventory. The next one, and what even in construction industry, what we are seeing is the waiting one. Waiting, we are seeing that people are parts of the material or something. So people will be waiting for that. Even the missionaries will be waiting. So everywhere we are seeing that things will be waiting for a work cycle completed. So here the biggest problem is it is invisible waste. Waiting is invisible waste. People cannot see those things. So people has to understand what are the things that is required. So by which people will be in a position to avoid those things. So normally in a site, we can see people will be waiting for the instruction. So they will come in the morning, every labor will come, machinery will be there. The project manager will take time to come over there. So we can see a lot of time will be getting wasted with the waiting. If you will aggregate that, we can see it will be going to a huge one. The next 4th one is the motion. That is unnecessary movement of people or parts or machineries within a process. When you are making a process, how things and people will be moving. Even the material, brick, you have to, if at all you are doing a brick construction, a brick, required amount of brick only has to come. Similarly, the machineries you are, even your tower crane you are using, you should know optimally or economically how you will be moving the things and all. So any machineries you are going to use or any people you are going to use, you have to check them. Unnecessary movement has to be prevented. Other than that, we cannot identify, but that will be adding slowly cost as well as adding time. So that is another major factor that we have to take care. Then the transportation, again, the unnecessary movement of people or parts between the process. So again, a completed thing, moving those things and all. So we have to see exactly move the required thing at the required point of time and all. So the difference between your motion is movement within the process, whether the transportation is between the process. That means after completing one process, how to make the another process. For that, what are the things? Especially if you are making slab. So then you have to remove the your centering material again. It has to be shifted. The transportation things are there. Where you have to see that properly it will be made. That means exactly how you can make with those things and all. So that is your 5th one is transportation. And the 6th one, what we are rework. Here we have to check right thing at the first time. That is, you have to. So that means we have to identify. So we should not go for if you are making a mistake, it will be going for repetition or correction of process and all. Again, we know the rework. It will not only it will take time. We will not get the material whatever we have used for that work. So we cannot build those things. So it will take time as well as it will take your cost of the material, and even that whatever the people they worked, they will be feeling very much this thing. The moment rework will come, their motivations will go down and down. So we have to identify and remove as far as possible the rework. For that, a meticulous planning we have to do, and also we have to check multiple times, see that unnecessarily things will not happen. So here our technical expertise will play a critical role, how to remove this rework and all. Okay, fine. Then the seventh and the last one is your over processing. Here we have to identify the processing that is required to the level by the customer. We need not go beyond that. Whatever is standard required by the customer, that is sufficient. But majority of the time site we will be seeing, they will be, they may not be knowing it, what time they have to stop it. They will be going beyond that thing, by which the over processing things will be happening. So we have to check all those things. We have to seek it out and get rid of these waste, all this waste, whatever we have discussed. Every site, wherever you go, you can see all these 7 things will be happening at all the times. It is not that one side they will be doing it, but only the, what you can say is that quantity only will vary. Other than that, many of the things will be there. We have to systematically identify them and we have to remove those things. There is a eighth waste in the, that is wasting the potential of the people. That means we have to use the right people at the right place. Sometimes even the potential people will be wasted. A higher caliber people, if you are going to use, that also going to add a waste. So now you can understand clearly the various waste as stated by the Japanese, that Buddha. So we can see very much relevant. Now our lean activity, we try to minimize many of those things. For these various tools are there, but I am bringing some of the tools. There are numerous tools are there. Major and very simple one is the 5S system. Okay, we will be seeing that in detail. I will be explaining to you, and we can see a small case study where we did with the 5S clubbing with that the other one also. The last planner system, next one, that again we are going to see it in the detail, and also I will be explaining a little bit software associated with this last planner system. Then just-in-time system. Of course, the case study involves just-in-time also. Just-in-time, especially when you require, you have to bring the main thing. What you have to understand is what will be the your ordering time to getting back your material. That lead time you have to identify. The long lead item you have to identify first. You have to order it, by which that will take more time. That will process and you will get it. So everything you will check according to the progress of the work, your schedule, and you have to make your what considering the lead. You have to lead time. You have to make the whatever the procurement of the material and all. The next one is your value stream mapping. As I told, various point of time, depending upon the workflow, how you are going to map those things and make the people to understand how to go with the thing and all. Then the next one is Kanban. This is like a pull system. Understand the whatever the of the customer, downstream customer, and everything will be arranging in that way. And the next one is Kaizen. Here, people will be going for continuous improvement through the brainstorming technique and all. There will be a Kaizen event will be conducted, wherein the people will be called and they will be asked to go under some brainstorming and all. Then the Six Sigma, of course, the people from the quality side, they will be knowing the Six Sigma. Almost Six Sigma will bring you to 99.999%. That means your errors will be minimized, and you can see almost perfectly you will be making the things and all. So wherein you will be minimizing the waste to the core. Then comes your Gamba walk, wherein periodically people will move through and see what are the unnecessary things and removing those things and all. Of course, there are many other clean tools are there. Now they are integrating BIM. So where things can be visualized. There are visual techniques are there where you can make some mocks and understand what are the problems and identify those things and remove those things before execution of the work itself. So various things are there. Please understand, these lean tools are various life cycle phase which is all required to be used. Even at the time of your design, even at the time of your concept level itself, you have to use these things. Then comes the design thing, procurement thing, then the construction, then even for your maintenance and level also. So all those things you have to consider at the time of making the things itself. So identify what are the things. Various tools will be used at various phases of your life cycle and all. Okay, fine. So here first we see the 5 years in detail. Here the 5 phases of the techniques are it is sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. In Japanese, it is called as Sairi, Saiton, Saiso, Saiketsu, and Saisuke. So Japanese are very much fond of it, and you can see anywhere you go, they are following it. In fact, recently, January, and I had been to Tokyo and some other city in Japan. Wherever we go in the construction, they are following it meticulously. So they see that all these 5 things are there at 100% in all the sites. And many of the time you cannot see there is a construction activity going at that place. Even the public places like roads and all, they are doing it only in the night time, wherein they will come and do. And the morning, if you will see, you cannot see the work has happened in the night. Everything they will be relaying and they will be going back. No traffic will be blocked during only the night time. They will be blocking it or rerouting it and trying to do all the public amenities and all. Even at the construction site also, seen is they will be taking care in and around, and they will be properly doing all these things. So it has become part and partial of the system. But for us, we can easily understand what are the things, how we can do it. Of course, the first one is sorting. Here we have to identify what are the things that is doubt, which we may feel that not required, when we require. Depending upon that, we can move it out or we can keep the things according to that. This is, once you sort it, then you can set them in order. Whatever the way you want to require, that means you have to keep a place for everything to create a workflow. According to your workflow, you have to set the things by which it will make easy for your workflow to happen. The next one is your shine. Here it is very important, clean thoroughly and inspect. Please understand, this may require some money, but the benefit is much more. One major thing I am finding it difficult with many of our people, they are very much bothered about the cost, but they have to bother about the cost benefit. So this cleaning, housekeeping, that will be adding a lot of value, and we will see some of the little later. And the standardize, here once we make everything with these 3 things, then we have to standardize. We need not repeat it again and again. Then we can standardize those things. We can make up rules and follow and enforce those things. So the 5th one is sustain. So we have to bring it as a habit. So we have to make it daily to happen. Not that it should become a part of the work, daily work, routine work. So it will become a habit. Then we need not go and make it exclusively. So not that at the time of inspection you will be cleaning and making it. Daily they have to do it. It will become their habit. They will be cleaning their places and all. So again, now we will see that things in detail. First is your sorting. Here we have to identify what are the unnecessary items. So we can put a label or a tag. Okay, unnecessary items are the items which are not used and are not likely to be used. We have to identify what is the value. There may be items which will not have any value and easy to dispose of. Then we can dispose of immediately. So put a label and identify and immediately dispose those things. So your place will be very clean. Then the second one is we have to check what are the values. Some items will have some value. So then we have to identify best user to give us. So you can give to them or sell to them. For example, we may not require at our site. Some other site it is required. Please better move those things to some other site, by which we can keep our site free from these materials. Then no value, but costly to dispose. So that will not have any value, and also it will be very costly to dispose. Then we have to identify the least costly way to dispose. That means we will be segregating and keeping it at one place, and identify some of the trucks to come and take those things and move away from our site, workplace, and all those things. Here we have to identify the whatever the not required, we can put a red flag and we can action it and we can remove it. Then the things we have to see the necessary items. That here these items may be right now in the use are likely to be used. Here we have to identify what is the frequency, whether we require frequently, that is a frequently used, maybe daily or weekly use, or occasionally use, that may be 1 or 2 per month we may have to use, like our some of the testing things and all. That rarely used, maybe during some of the inspection times or sometime only we are going to use it. So we have to identify those items and we have to label them and we have to stop them and keep it in such a way So how we will be keeping it? We can see with this simplifying. Here what we try to do, we have to find a place for everything and everything in its place. Okay, we have to clean and ready to use. So where it is required, it should be near to that also. And also it will be arranged in such a way people can identify and they can take those things and done. So it will help to see that things are kept in a very safe manner as well as efficient manner by which people can work very fast. They will determine the location for each item. So as I already told, even in our construction also we can identify some of the stores are very near or some of the tools are very near by which whenever required people can access to it and take and use those things and all. And also we can outline these locations and zones by which people can understand where this will be available. They will not waste the time. They can go and bring it from there and all. So for which we can develop the shadow board or also we can label the item and all. So they will not spend the time for searching. Also we can document the layout, equipment, maintenance and everything. So by which even a new person also will understand where things are available. So it goes with your second thing, simplifying, identifying the place for everything with the proper labeling and all. Then the third is, as already we have seen, is a systematic cleaning or shining. Here, normally cleaning will be done for inspection, especially your construction site. When there is a chief inspection, we have seen many of the time our entire site and clean. It is not only for inspection, it is also for our normal routine things and all. Okay, people should identify the points to check for performance, because once you make it properly, it will give enough space for the people to perform, and also it will prevent the accidents. Okay, so we have to determine the visual indicators and controls by which people will understand what are the things they have to make and keep it ready and all. Mark equipment and control. So what are the things, how you have to clean that thing and what way you have to make it, that everything has to be made and it has to be brought within the control by which people will understand these things they have to do before leaving. The next fellow will come and he will be in a process to do that properly and all. And also conduct daily cleaning, housekeeping. Please understand, housekeeping may add some money, but it will save you a lot because it will improve the productivity. So we have done enormous study on this. We can see a lot of savings have happened. So even there can be an inspection, people can go and watch what are the things I have done. There will be charts will be there, checklists will be there, they will be going on taking those things and that. So we have to keep the things properly, that will be helping us. Now, this pandemic time, we have been insisting to keep everything clean, even we have to wash our hands and we have to keep our everything clean and all. So whereas now we can see many of the places become part and partial. Very interesting thing we can see with South Korea as well as Vietnam. It is very near to China. Still, they are not getting affected because for them, even in Japan also, it has become the part of the system. In even, I think without lockdown, now you can see Singapore is progressing because they are following shining. Even they will not spit anywhere. If you are spitting, you will be penalized heavily. So for them, it will be part and partial. So third is, you have to keep your work site very clean and up. Now it is a pandemic time. Everybody is insisting for that. So this is one of the most important thing. As I already told, even though it involves some cost, that it will save. Okay, so you have to identify all those things. I think I have seen many of our site. Even these wires will be just like that. They will be casually taking. So that will be preventing the movement of the people and all. Even they will leave the material in between after doing some work, by which people will move around, taking materials and all. They will take a lot of time to move around all those things. Once you clean and keep everything, people will go without any fear, and also that will move very fast also. So your third S will play a very critical role. Okay, then the fourth S is the standardizing things. Here we have to develop a common method for consistency. Please understand, once you make all the three things, you can come to know what are the things that you need to do it repetitively. You can go for, you can document it, by which the further people need not work on this, they can go for it. There can be a standard operating procedures and all. So your fourth thing will become a standardizing thing. The fifth thing is sustaining. So we have to hold this thing for gains and improving. You can understand by doing this thing, what are the benefits and all. So you can continue with those things. Okay, so every time we can go make it a perform routine checks and all. Even you can include in your checklist and all those things. And also we have to analyze the results. What is the benefits we are getting? It you can show to your contractor also. You can show to your subcontractor also. You can insist your subcontractor also follow that thing and all. So we have to measure the progress and plan for the continuous improvement by motivating all the participants, not only the client, also with your suppliers as well as your subcontractors and everybody, by which they will also follow, and ultimately you can see a lot of benefit. Even they will also get much productivity that will be giving a lot of benefit to them also. Okay, here one case study we have done where we have used this 5 years along with just in time. So we have done a reduction of material waste. Here, this is a Ramki One North is a premium residential project by Ramki Estates at Avalahalli, a village in North Bangalore. It is having a composite apartment with a series of 5 blocks and an elegant clubhouse. You can see these 5 towers are there, and there is a clubhouse, and bottom some of the things are interconnected also. Okay, so of course, I am going to show you the results only. A lot of activities we have done. So I have due to the paucity of time, I am going to show the results. Now we can see the reconciliation statement for the month of June 2007 before application of the wheel rules. We have studied with the cement, steel, that is river sand as well as the M sand. So we have taken what are the reconciliation quantities. Here we have identified what are the actual consumption, what is the theoretical consumption, and we have identified the difference that shows the waste. So we have identified what is the percentage of thing and how much excess waste amount has come. So we could see there is a 93 lakh, nearly 94 lakh is the excess amount that has come due to this waste and all. Again, after for 2 months, we insisted them to apply 5 years as well as the just in time. Then after that, we measured it in the month of August. Then we could see, of course, with respect to the quantity, what are the things and all. We identified what is the percentage. With reference to the percentage, what is the excess waste has happened. So that brought down to 45 lakhs. So there is a, this is table 3. Here you can see there is a comparison between the both the period. One is the June, another one is in August. So what is the difference? Percentage of actual consumption, theoretical consumption, we can that whatever the thing we got it. Based upon that difference, we identified these materials. We can see cement, there is a 47% reduction is there. But still, already they were in very much in control. It has brought down further control also. It has come down to 18% control. The maximum thing we have seen with the river sand. I think nowadays the river sand has become a very costly material. So earlier it has brought down to 90% because they were not keeping it properly. They were spreading it everywhere, and this is mixing with the normal earth. They could not get back those things and all. Later on, they made it a proper place to keep it and use it properly and all, by which they can see that wastage has not happened. Then M sand, again M sand also the check the work. Then they have identified there is a 72% reduction of that wastage is there. Here, the total excess waste cost to work out, that is, the difference is 52% reduction in the amount. From 93, it came down to 45 lakhs. Still, there is a waste. Okay, there is a way to improve. It is, as we told, furthermore improvements are there. But we can see with a little bit application, we can see a sizable reduction is there. So we can identify the lot of reduction is happening. So, and we conducted a small questionnaire survey also to identify important factors for the reduction of material waste. So the maximum, number one thing what we have identified is the need for training, also motivating the laborers and all. So we have identified some of another major thing is estimation of proper quantity and all those things. Of course, various factors, and with the ranks it is given here. You can go through. Okay, now I will run very fast with the loss planner and the rest of the things because of the, I think it is very late. Okay, loss planner system, because this is very interesting. I try to concise it and give it. Okay, fine. The current planning system is having a lot of problems. We are moving it with things are made at the head office, and also we are working with the corrective mode. That means we are very much reactive rather than the proactive and all. And there is no collaboration between the various stakeholders at the site levels and all. So here the main thing is we are not involving the frontline people. That means people who are working at the site. It and all made by the head office or by the people sitting at the office, by which there is no ownership. Ultimately, the project is getting delayed and we fail to complete the things despite of lot of planning and all. As already I said, we are monitoring the effect of workflow variations and all. Also, we are not optimizing the, that means we are optimizing the performance without understanding what is the thing that is actually required and all. And also, people are within their own turf, they are not understanding what is the requirement of the other people and all. There is very learning, there is a lot of repetitive failures are there. With lean philosophy, we can see change all these things with the flow management, value management, and activity management. Here we can see with the last planner, it is optimistic planning replaced with realistic planning. The traditional push system scheduling was replaced with the full system scheduling and all. It will be improving the communications and reliability, so we can create a trust and collaboration. This is very much important. Please understand. Now people are without any trust. They will be suspecting each other. And also there is no proper collaboration. This last planner will help them to make proper collaboration and all. Also it will visibility of the, and it is known by the top down people also, they will understand what are the things and all. Here there will be rapid learning will be happening, and also they will come to know who has to do what and how the task has to be carried out and all. So there will be clarity among what are the things they have to go for it. They say early stakeholder engagement will be happening. Of course, this is the flow of the last planner system. So I will be explaining it little here. Now what we are trying to do, the master plan, we will be making it to phase scheduling. We are going to split it according to the milestone activities, and we will be doing a reverse scheduling. Here we will be going back. We want to complete it here. So if you go, can know when we will be completing it. Then this is going to come up with a split up this one with a look-ahead plan. Look-ahead plan is nothing but 3 weeks or 5 weeks, depending upon the progress of the work and that. Then ultimately it will be brought down to 1 week thing. Here, look ahead plan. We will identify when we will be removing the thing and we will be moving it to the constraint-free basket by which the people at the site can do the work without any problem. And any problem comes, we will identify what is the root cause of the problem and we will be removing this root cause. These are the various schedules you are seeing, the master schedule, then there is a phase schedule, then there is a lookout schedule and a weekly plan. Even the weekly plan will be converted into daily plan and the people will be doing it. Of course, there are various softwares are available. The one which we are teaching here in ICMAR is the Lean Plando. It will be having the information flow and the team involvement. As I told here, software will be used by both all the people, including the project managers, the planning team, even the people from the site team, even the coordinating. Everybody will be using it. The initial things will be given by the project manager, planning team. The updates will be made by the site people. Okay, even if they're using the mobile phone, they can update it. That is the interesting aspect. Okay, so here the constraints will be identified and the constraints will be removed and the daily progress will be measured. Any shortfall will be there, immediately it will be communicated, identify what are the problems that will be put on that. So in one window you can see it will be showing both the current work is going and what is the subsequent thing, that is look ahead window in which you can see the 6 big thing, what are the things have to be carried out and all. Not only that, here you can see that your activity will be split into various tasks. And the task also, they will be making it with various, that means ownership, who has to own what and that. So there will not be any blame game. They know who has to do, and even they will give the resource, what it is required, and whether it is ready, that will be made with the constraint is removed, then it will be coming with green. When the constraint will be identified, even the approvals has to be made, who has to do the approval, the responsibility will be fixed upon them. Once it is cleared by them, that will be removed from them. So like that, who has to do, what he has to do, everybody they can track from here. Others also will understand. So there are so many things are there. Just I have given the glimpse of it. Later on, if you want to, you can go to this site and you can see what are the things. There is a tutorial things are available. Okay, fine. Now, major barriers for implementing the, it's okay. So far we have seen what are the things and all. There are so many other tools and techniques are there. Due to lack of time, I am not in a position to tell. But in spite of so many things, why people are not taking? So here, there are interesting things are there. Even we did a lot of studies, and parallelly some other study also I am showing to you. Here, what they try to make it in Indian context, they checked the lack of lean awareness. People are not that very much aware. Very minimum people are aware about it. There is required to be a lot of awareness program to make the people to understand it and all. The next one is the cultural and the human attitude issues. Of course, this is a major thing that has to be studied. Even in our one of the conferences, they told it is one of the area to be problem. In fact, one of the recent thing given by one of and some other webinar also, they told very clearly The 70% is this human attitude what to do. At the site, you can see. Of course, we cannot blame the project manager just like that. Problem is even with the top management, if somebody is doing very systematically without any problem, they may not merit them. We have to merit them people who are doing it. Another one is cultural habit, especially our side, keeping clean and all. We don't feel it, but in Japan and all, they feel it. It's a must for them. Safety is very much essential for them like that. Then commercial pressure. Okay, everything they will count from the cost. So they won't see from the cost benefit aspect. So they have to see from the cost benefit aspect. Then lack of proper training. There required to be a lot of training is required. Of course, what I want to tell, people should not mistake me. Now, from near to our area only, because we know in construction only the agriculture drivers are coming. We have to train them properly and we have to use them. Then we will not have a problem now. Because now I contacted many of our colleagues there, that even some construction industry and all, they are telling that they are searching for the people, they could not start the project and all. Again, they feel long implementation time is required. It is not like that. They will understand easily, they can make it. Only the people are fear about the changes and all. And the lack of top management commitment. This is another big problem. Top management want immediate result. This may not give an immediate result. And the top management has to involve themselves. They have to identify constraints. They have to involve themselves removing the constraint rather than coming for the firefight. This applying the lean will not lead to firefight at all. So top management, once they will go for making commitment, removing the constraint and all, things will happen. The educational issues. We have to educate our people, even at the various levels, we have to educate them. Then lack of proper communication between the client and the contractor. This is another big problem. There is no trust. There is no proper communication. So they will make it to complicate. Later on with the ego, they will be making it very much into trouble and all. We can remove all those things because some of these things, the last planner and all, we can fix the responsibility. People will understand what they have to do, when they have to release the drawing, when they have to order the material, what is the test have to be carried out. Everything we can put it by which everybody will understand what is their part. Not only that, that collaborative thing will happen. What the other contractor has to do and all, that will remove the fragmentation. And the subcontractor will also understand what the main contractor expectations and all those things. The most important thing, barrier they are telling financial issues. As I already told, people are very much bothered about the cost rather than the cost benefit. They don't want to spend anything. Even for the housekeeping also, they think that it is waste. It is not at all a waste. By doing that, they can save a lot of wastage and that. Okay, fine. It is the study conducted and published in one of the international journal civil engineering. They were at all. Okay, fine. Finally, coming to the lean advantage. Here, there are various things people have to understand. The team structure in traditional, we are seeing it as silos. Your task is the primary thing. Okay, people will, a task or activity is the primary thing. So everybody want to bother about their thing only. Okay, so here lean, we are seeing integrated. Here the project is first. Even the project, what the customer want is the primary one. Okay, fine. Here that way the focus in lean is customer value, whereas in traditional one, we are seeing what is their part, and if they are bothered about what is their part is done. Even in civil, we can see the civil, we will complete, the electrical fellow will come and he will be selling the thing and that. Then later on, he will complete it shabby. Then the civil, we will feel very difficult because that finishing will not be looking good and that. Here we have to bother about the customer value. Okay, ultimately, this has to go with the clean and the proper finishing and that. Leadership, we are seeing now command and control. We can see people will be shouting at the people. That way only they can control and all without giving proper, educating them properly and all. But here in lean approach, the leadership is for collaborative leadership. That means bring everybody together and make them sit together, understand each other, what is the requirement. That way it will go with a collaborative thing. Here the commitment, it is a transactional oriented. That means what is the result to be given? Bother about that only. Nothing more than that. But here, lean, we think about relational oriented. The advantage is further orders we will get. We will create a good rapport and all. Even I checked up with some of the construction company. Your major orders you will be completing once you are doing it properly. Naturally, your subsequent orders will be getting more from the people. Without the government thing, other government private things, you can see that a lot of things will come. So the lean will lead for a relational that approach. That relational thing will bring more work and all. Again, learning. Here it will be with the status quo, continue what it is there, by which failures will be, and also any failure is there, they will punish it. So people will not go for improving it. They will try to see or cover the failures rather than understanding what is the failure, how to overcome that and all. Here in lean approach, we are encouraging for innovation by which failures will be treated as lessons. We can see there is a feedback mechanism will be provided in the last planner and all, percentage planned completion and all, by which people will come to know if they are not going to do it, what is the root cause that has made them not to complete that one. That learning will help them to improve further and all. And also outcome, here it is isolated mainly to the individuals. They will see their individual accomplishment and all. But ultimately, they will not complete the project. Whereas here it is shared as a team. In a collaborative approach, they will be making it as a team by which the outcome they will get more value added, and that will bring a lot of satisfaction to the client as well as to everybody. Here, majority of the time, if you will see, it will be going for I win, you lose. That way, ultimately, it will be going for lose-lose also. Even we used to conduct some experiment on this. Okay, fine. Whereas this will be going for win-win opportunity. Once you go to the lean approach, everybody will understand. They will have that empathy, what the other fellow's problem, and they will work on that and provide solution to that by which they will be sharing. And as a team, they will share everything. The outcome will be most desirable one. So we can get lot of advantage with the lean with that traditional thing. Of course, with the time of 1 hour, just I am trying to finish it as far as near to that. So finally, what the latest things happening, just I want to tell, there are some international group of lean construction, the IGLC, they will be conducting their conferences once in a year. In 2018, it happened in Chennai, Mahabalipuram, it was conducted. A lot of people participated and a lot of events was there. It was a very good thing. In fact, in that also that emphasized two things. Of course, we published a paper on sustainability lean construction in that. But they emphasize for people involvement and all, which was subsequently published by us. So we are now studying what is the people issues, cognitive issues that related to that. In fact, that was published in our lean construction conference with ILCC. That is by India, we are having ILCE, Indian Lean Construction Excellence, in which we are conducting various conferences. ILCC conferences are there. That is once in 2 years it will be conducted. In 2017 it was there in Chennai, and 2019 we conducted at Pune. Of course, our director has taken a lot of effort for that, and it was a very successful one. Many people participated, including the Alan Musman from that means Europe. So people came from all the part, Europe and US, come from US and all. So along with IIT professors, we collaborated with them, and NICMAR we collaborated and we conducted. Of course, some of our IIT professors, they are taking a lot of initiative.
I think there is some. We're not able to hear you, sir. Suraj?
Sir,
There is some problem, no? Bandwidth problem, is it? From the speaker side.
I guess. Sir, sir, you there?
I think we'll need to give some time.
Yeah.
Maybe they will. Yeah. In fact, that's a good presentation on lean construction. Very interesting. I think the attendees can also post their queries if there are any, so that we can take it up towards the end. Now that the presentation is on the verge of closing, I would request all the professionals to post their queries if there are any on lean construction. So anytime the speaker would be back, I believe there should be some problem of connectivity at his end. So any specific queries? So in fact, the concept of value management and basically how do we inculcate the concept of value in all the activities and try to reduce many of those activities which are not value addition was the key takeaway from this presentation. And we need to identify essential, value added, or as non-essential. There are some activities which are essential and which may not be adding any value, and there could be some activities which are non-essential. So I think those non-essential activities are those activities which need to be pruned down, and we need to ensure that those non-essential activities are not there. And I'm sure that over a period of time we will have what you call productivity will be increasing, and there could be a lot of benefits. So that was the key takeaway from today's presentation. So that was very interesting presentation by Dr. Venkatesh on lean construction, which I am sure that is we can implement it in our site activities also, because there are so many activities at site which can be we can see which are non-essential, and thereby ensure that we try to reduce the waste that is being generated out of each of the activities. So waste, it is not necessary that it comes out of materials alone, but even from activities also there is a lot of waste that is being generated. So let us try to reduce those activities which are non-essential. Let us identify them, and as he was pointing out, I think there is a lot of benefit also in terms of a monetary benefit that we can get if we are able to measure it, as he could show from his presentation. So I think it's a lot of advantage if we inculcate the concept of lean concept in construction, which was of course originally it was originally implemented in automobile sector, but I am sure in the construction industry also many of those projects are implementing it, but we can also adopt many of the tools that is being mentioned here. So I think that was a very interesting presentation, and let us wait for a couple of minutes till the speaker would connect. So some of the other queries is that today's is the 66th webinar, and all the 65 webinars which we have posted, which we have conducted, are also available in our FB. And if it is not available in the FB Live, you can also go on to the YouTube link, which we have already circulated. So this kind of webinars would be conducted almost on a daily basis. In fact, daily we would be having one webinar, and preferably we'll be having at 11 o'clock. And this Sunday, we are having one webinar at 4 p.m. And in that, what we are planning to do is that we are planning to address the customer queries that would come out of as a result of the building construction. When a customer goes in for construction of a building, there are so many questions that comes to his mind. So this Sunday at 4 p.m. we would be having architect Sendil Kumar from Chennai, who is also the chairman of Indian Institute of Architects, and he would also be there. And we would take on many queries related to architectural as well as site-related construction problems in construction of a building. So I am sure that the panel discussion which we'll be having would be useful to all the customers. So tomorrow at 11 a.m. we have an interesting presentation by Engineer Ajay Karthik on physiochemical behavior of concrete admixtures and basic structural repairs in concrete. So that is tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So we have our speaker, Dr. Venkatesh, back. I think, sir, you have to unmute your mic because your mic is muted. Yeah, now it's okay. Yeah, please continue, sir. Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, now we are able to hear you. Please. Again, yeah. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please carry on.
I think a little bit we can last it.
Yeah.
If you can take last it, I can finish it. Otherwise, you can take
No,
questions.
that was the last slide that you showed us regarding that international seminar that you had in the year 2018.
Okay. Up to that, it came.
Yeah.
Fine. Then almost everything is fine.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. We were just discussing that the presentation was very useful, and this concept of lean concept can be used in construction to improve productivity, and also to evolve. It increases profitability also, because many of the non-essential activities are being weeded out. So that is very important. And you have also shown in your presentation the kind of monetary benefit that one can get.
Every project, wherever we apply lean, we can see minimum 5% to 10% of benefit will be there.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now the horrible thing is the nowadays we are going with cutthroat competition. Our percentage of profit is very much minimal.
Correct.
With this lean, easily we can make minimum 10% savings. It will go
Correct.
up to 27% also.
Yeah.
And many big projects, they are in a position to save both cost-wise as well as time-wise also. By
Right.
saving that, they will be escaping from the penalty, and also they can get bonus, and all. Where there is a bonus clause is there, they can get the bonus also.
Yeah. So that was very interesting, because one important aspect, as we were seeing, is that waste is not only generated in materials, it is also generated in activities also. So many of the
Yeah, that is
non-essential
totally
activities, as we were,
Yeah, yeah. We have to identify what are the non-essential activities, and we have to remove those things systematically, and it will become a habit. Even see, mainly the thinking, a systematic thinking is required in your planning. Planning is nothing but think before acting. So the proactively, what we are going to make it, and also this planning is a real-time planning.
True.
Some of this software, what we are saying is both your planning and controlling will be happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
Okay, and also we will be involving the people, downstream people.
Okay.
There's a MBO concept where we will understand what is the requirement of the downstream people. Also, we will get the feedback by which we will be in a position to make them to develop themselves. Here, the learning also will happen very fast. People
So
will
it's a
develop
real-time activity that is happening.
Real-time activity. I think some of the questions, one or two, if you will tell, I can answer to them.
Yeah, the one is that how do we consider delay in the project while handing over the final product to the customer? How do we, incorporate that? Is one of the questions.
Yeah, actually, of course, the delay, as I told, we are going to do the phase scheduling. In that reverse scheduling, we are going to do. We will be sticking to the milestones. We are not going to cross postpone the milestones and all. So by which we can avoid the delay. As I told, it is not reactive, it is proactive. So even within a day, I know what is the delay has happened. Next day I will correct it, or next week I will correct it.
Yeah.
So I am not going to carry forward it.
True. So any practical examples of application of lean construction in projects? That is another question which is asked by engineer Syed Farooq. Yeah.
Yeah. There are many things are there. Even they can go to ILCA website. They have given that. Even they have given the case study of whatever the work done by IIT Madras. They have given those things. Okay. So fine. So it is. We can easily see if anybody require. We can send whatever the details are available with us. So we can.
So it is very much implemented. In many of the projects. That is what
they are implementing. They are implementing so many projects. Of course, now only big people they are doing. You see, in Delhi airport project they have done it. Recently, this Gujarat Cuttack to Bhubaneswar, the bridge project, they brought down the time. Instead of July, they handed it over on April itself. It was inaugurated April 1st. That happened to be the Orissa found that state found day. So they inaugurated on the day. They brought ahead of it. There are so many case studies are there.
So even in our cement plant also we are adopting many of the techniques like 5S and all that.
Yeah, very much. I went to BHEL long before the started, but the people are not continuing. That sustaining is very difficult.
In our cement plants, we are in our organization at Ramco Cements, we are implementing many of these techniques because in lean production.
Okay.
The other thing is that how to overcome the industrial gap in implementing lean technology is another question which is asked by Pragadish.
Yeah, that industry gap, their practice, they have to study, improve and all. So they can come and collaborate with either IIT or with NICMA or many consultants are there. So they will identify the problems and tell. The biggest problem is if you are going to sit inside, you cannot identify what are the things are happening there. Yeah, outsider will come, they can easily identify and tell what are the process improvement they have to do. So it all goes with the process improvement only. Nothing new to be do. We have to do. Within the what are the further improvements we can do, and everywhere we can do. It is not that here we can do, there we can do, everywhere we can do.
There is a scope for improvement in every activity.
Every activity, there are a lot of scope, not there is scope. Even the study what we have done, within 2 months we could do so much. So they were telling, sir, now how the problem is sustaining is the problem. Because we have to motivate them, we have to sustain them, we have to give them some incentive. But the management is not interested there. If management is interested, that really we can do wonders.
So thank you so much, sir, for that presentation. In fact, Dr. Marumuthu had sent a message from IIT Madras. He wanted to ask, he wanted to greet you during this webinar. So yes,
Of course,
yes.
I will be, as of course, he is also doing my guide only, my another guy. So we can share the thing. Any industrial people, they require anything, kindly let them put us a question. So
Fine.
you please pass on to us. I am ready to answer for all those
Sure.
things.
Thank you so much, sir. I think we will. What we will do is that we'll compile the questions and send it across to you.
Okay.
So thank you, Dr. Venkateshan, sir, for taking off your time and for having, yeah.
Actually, I wish to convey my thanks to all the participants for the patient hearing. Okay, I hope it will be very much useful to them, and I welcome them for further journey. It is a real journey. We are going to make this journey. We are also in the beginning only. We will make a journey along with you. We will go for improvement and do a lot of wonders. Okay, thank you very much.
That's nice message from you, sir. Thank you so much for having spent your time with us and shared the important concept. So tomorrow we will be having the next webinar at 11 a.m. as I was telling on chemical admixture, physiochemical behavior of concrete admixtures and basic structural repairs in concrete. This is by engineer Ajay Karthik, who is the founder and managing partner at CBS Chemicals. So with those few words, I thank all of you. And I take leave of you for this webinar. Thank you so much.